Hi, I'm Yvonne. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited for today and what I'll be talking about. And I feel like most of the things I talk about are like really dear to me, and I'm sure that's how everybody else feels. But with that long introduction, again, if you would like to know how to cover up your dark circles, any acne marks, psoriasis, hyperpigmentation, burns, accident scars, anything that you've kind of had a problem covering if it's dark, just stay tuned. The corrector I'm going to be using today is the MAC Prep and Prime Peach Luster, and it looks like this. It has like a peachish, orangey look to it. And I'm just gonna put it on for you guys. And it has one of those twist caps. It looks like one, you know those lip gloss from back in the day? They used to have this brush tip. That's what it looks like. So you just take it and you start applying. And this is what I didn't show. I have scars here. I have this big one right here. So I just start covering my psoriasis that gets really bad in the winter. Just anywhere you see scars. And under your eyes as well. And your fingers are one of your best tools to use to spread anything, whether it's foundation, concealer, just because it's warm already and it helps with the blending. So lightly, you just tap it. And you should look something like this. And I know it looks dark right now, but it'll come together. Trust me, it will come together. So that's what the orange looks like this. So compared to this side, where I already color corrected, but my right side isn't bad anyway. It's just my left side that has the scars. My right side doesn't really have scars. So I went and did the rest of my makeup off camera just to save some time. You should look something like this. You shouldn't see any dark spots, discoloration anywhere. My scars, you should still see them because they're slightly raised, so they are still visible because they're raised. Compared to this side. And the foundation I used is this one, my favorite foundation. This is the Cover FX. It's in the color G7. I clearly love this stuff because it's like almost gone. I know it looks a little dark on here, or it doesn't look like it matches my face, but once I put it on and it mixes with the oils on my face, it matches it perfectly fine. And I hope the camera's picking this up well. This is what it looks like. It's really good. It's lasted me a while. I've had it for about 6 months. I want to say 6 months. I've had this foundation. It's been really well, and it's really good right now, cream, for the winter because I have really dry skin. And even if you don't have dry skin, in the winter my skin is even drier, and this is perfect for that because it doesn't dry out my skin as much. So how I put it on is, again, I talked about the fingers. I love using my fingers for this type of process. I dabbed it, took it with my finger, and then I dabbed it on everywhere. I dabbed like spots. So I dabbed it, and especially I focused on the places where I put the corrector, and I dabbed it on there. And to help with that, to help spread it even a little bit better, because it's a bigger surface, I use my beauty blender. It's not a real one. This is a fake beauty blender, but it gets the job done. It blends pretty well, and I kind of have it, it's a little wet. Well, it's all the way wet. It has like a moist feeling. I know people hate that word, but that's something I feel like I can describe it. It kind of has like a moist feeling, and once it's perfect for like spreading it around. So I just dab it, and I make sure not to dab where the corrector was. I don't really dab it on there. I use my finger for that part. But the rest of it, I just dab. So after the foundation, just to make sure that my makeup is set and it doesn't move all day. You can go without setting it, but I always just set it. Especially if I'm doing something, if I know I'm going to be outside or moving around or having a long day, I always set it. But in the summer, I don't necessarily set my foundation. Especially this one, and it tends to last all day. But just to make sure it stays, I use this. It's a MAC. It's the Mineralized Foundation. It's in loose. It's in the color dark. And this is what it looks like. I don't want to pour it. So it's loose foundation. And what I do is I take this multitask brush and I dabbing is just the way to go. I dab it and I just tap off the excess, because you don't need that much to set it. Just dab off the excess and I pat it on here. I make sure not to go like this, not to swirl it, because you're moving your foundation. But if you dab it, you're keeping it in place. So I dab everywhere, and I dab it, and I dab it. And that's pretty much it. Under my eyes, I use a concealer, and I use a different banana powder. So that's a whole nother video we can do. But for right now, just to cover up the marks, that's what I do. So this is what it looks like after it is all done. Alright, I shouldn't give a disclaimer, and this isn't necessarily a disclaimer, it's just my point of view. I don't cover up or conceal anything because I'm ashamed of what I look like underneath my makeup. I quite frankly do not care. For lack of a better word, it doesn't bother me what I look like. It used to, it definitely used to, but now I don't even really wear makeup. I go without makeup maybe 90% of the time. I don't really wear makeup as often, but I do love it. Now I use it to express myself, or when I just want to look, I don't know, I want to look different, I put on makeup, or it's fun. It's really, really fun. So I'm not putting on makeup to cover up any insecurities that I have. So I will say there was a time I couldn't walk outside the house without putting makeup on, and I just felt like I looked really, really bad, and I felt like I looked hideous, and everybody was just looking at me, and I realized that was definitely an insecurity that I had. And I had this was after I was in a really bad car accident, and I was hit by a drunk driver while I was walking, and needless to say, that left me with a lot of scars. There's scars that I have here and here, and just all over, you know, like my arms and just different parts of my body. And with that, I definitely left not just physical but mental scars, which I feel like a little bit harder to cover up sometimes. Well, not sometimes, most times. The mental scars are the ones that I feel like got me. I never really had any scars on my face prior to the accident. I didn't even go through the awkward stage in high school. I mean, I went through the awkward stage. I used to dress crazy, but I didn't go through the awkward stage with pimples or anything on my face. I went through all of high school and even part of college. Yeah, like without any really pimples. My first pimple I ever got was right after the accident, and my doctor told me before he performed surgery. I remember him saying that I will have some reaction. You know how they do that? They usually say this at the end of commercials. Might cause death, like acne. I remember hearing that word, but I didn't pay it any mind. But I definitely had acne afterwards. It's because so I have a metal jaw, not metal jaw, but I have metal in my jaw to try to keep it in place, because it was really fractured. It's mostly on my left side, and that's why most of my scars are on this side, and it was the most damaged after the accident, because I like scraped on the ground and I hit the windshield. So this was the worst part of it. And with that, my left side is the one that gets the worst, like it's gotten the worst acne. I'm not breaking out right now. I just have blackheads that I've had for a long time. It feels like months on top of months. But I will say, because of this, and this is what I used to look like. Let me just first and foremost, this is what I used to look like right here. So that's what I look like. This is a month afterwards, because I couldn't even look at myself. I didn't see myself for weeks. I didn't even know what I looked like, because I couldn't. Just by people's reaction when they saw me, I knew it was bad. I didn't have to look at myself to clarify that. But I remember there was a time when I went to Walmart, and it was these teenagers, these guys. They look like they were maybe like 17, I want to say, but old enough to like know better. I remember one of them saying, "Oh my gosh, what's that on her face? Like, look at her." And I was like, first I was looking around, I'm like, what are they talking about? What are they talking about? And they were talking about me. They were talking about my scars on my face. At the time, it was maybe like around a month after, and I look like that. So they were like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with her face? And when I realized they were talking about me, I was so hurt. Oh my gosh, I left. Well, I didn't even buy what I needed to buy from Walmart. I just left and I went home and I cried. So I'm saying all of that to say, if you're using makeup to cover up any insecurities that you have that are going on, and sometimes that's what you're doing, you may not realize it, but that's kind of what you're doing, that's fine. Honestly, that's fine. If that's a process that you're going through right now, by all means, go through the process. But at some point, you're going to realize that makeup can't cover up anything, any scars that you have deep inside. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I'm still polishing this gold, and I hope you continue to do so too. Oh, that sounded so much cornier when I said it out loud.